Good day. Welcome. Welcome to Warner TV, Face to Face with Jack Warner. Today, I'm answering your questions on WhatsApp. And I will tell you that today will be a very interesting day because I have been told by several persons that you all have some difficult ones for me today.
Now, this is Sophie from Kufa. I didn't see Mr. Pandey in the 26th anniversary celebration for the UNC. I find that's a kind of disrespect to the man. What do you think about that?
Very good question, Sophie. And let me begin by saying, Kamala tried to get some cheap points, to score some cheap points by inviting Pandey. She invited him to get his endorsement, as it were. But it was an insult to Mr. Pandey and all he stood for. Let me say to you clearly, Sophie, that Kamala's UNC is not Pandey's UNC. As Pandey has said, Kamala's UNC are other persons, particularly from the NAR, who have dressed up in UNC clothes. And for me, she has fooled no one. What I want to say to you also, Sophie, is that Kamala is not a founding member of the UNC. She's a founding member of the NAR. And what she has done, therefore, is to rechristen the NAR in UNC clothes. But let me ask you, even out of respect, couldn't Kamala herself have called Mr. Pandey? And then, could Mr. Pandey be put on the program to say a few words? Thank God, however, Sophie, that many persons in this country still know about gratitude. And that is why the applause for Mr. Pandey when his name was mentioned was twice as great as when Ms. Prasad's name was mentioned. Thank you.
Mr. Warner, this is Trisha. I have some friends and we want to find out what you're doing in the East-West corridor because everybody wants to know who to vote for in the East-West corridor. We do want to vote for UNC and we have a question mark on the PNM. Let us know who you're putting up in the East-West corridor.
It's a bit early for me to say who shall be the candidates in the East-West corridor. What I will tell you, however, is that the ILP will be fighting in the East, in Central, and in the South. And we shall not put up candidates that the people, and particularly you, don't like. Our candidates shall be properly screened and shall be candidates that can make you and this country proud. I want to add, however, that the time has not yet come when we should go and announce our candidates. We are now having some cottage meetings throughout the country, beginning to educate people on what are the national issues facing the country. In the meantime, our screening is ongoing, and at the appropriate time, our candidates shall be announced. We shall not form or fight 41 seats, as we have said, but we shall fight enough seats to make a difference. And in those areas where we have no candidates, we shall advise our supporters how they should cast their vote and hope that they follow our advice. Because we have said again and again that there will be no government in this country without the ILP, either directly through our seats in Parliament or indirectly through our membership generally. Okay? I thank you.
So we made a statement yesterday about Kamala having a problem. As you a man, one of her just still, what do you think of her problem? What do you think is her problem?
Well, let me say to you first of all, I have never been under Kamala's dress tail or anybody else's for that matter. I can't say the same for Prakash Rameda, but I'm talking for myself. I've never been there. I hope not to be there. Kamala and I were very close. At one point in time, I considered Kamala to be as important possibly as even my very wife, because the effect is of our relationship. Kamala was a person who I believed in. I trusted. I felt that she had come to do the best for the country at a critical point in time. I have heard, as you have heard, and many persons have heard, of her personal problems, one of which Munilal mentioned against her in Penal when he, Munilal, was fighting against her on Pandey's platform. Today he has forgotten. But what has happened is that all those persons in the Hindu cabal know of Kamala's problems and they have exploited and are exploiting Kamala's problems. So for that reason, therefore, Kamala comes to work in Port of Spain on a Thursday, leaves on a Friday, and doesn't come back until the following Thursday. She stays in a home in Philippines, where she is, in a sense, cabined and cribbed by the Hindu cabal, where she is exploited because of her weaknesses, and that is why the country, in fact, that's why Mr. Humphrey has said of her personal problems. Mr. Humphrey knows, everybody knows, but what we don't know and don't agree with is why should she allow herself to be exploited by the cabal who are using her for their own personal interests. I hope I wasn't too long in answering you, but I felt a question like that needed me to be a bit more in detail.
Hi, good day. Mr. Warner, this is Shiva here from Faizabad. A couple years ago, let's go back to when you all had the coming together in Faizabad, the Accord. What have become of that? I'm now looking at what's going on. And from what I heard then and what I'm seeing now is totally different. Please tell me where are we on that right now? Thanks.
Shiva, I must confess, your question is most apt, most timely, and again, particularly coming from Faizabad. 5 years ago, almost to a date, 5 parties met in Faizabad and formed what we call the Faizabad Accord. That was based, and I say this unashamedly, that was based on the groundwork which I had put in to bring it to that stage. Those 5 parties were the UNC, led by Kanama Prasad Bisesa, the COP, led by Dukaran, the MSJ, led by Errol MacLeod, the TOP by Ashford Jack, and the NJAC by Makandal Daga. There were 5. Today, there is no longer any Faizabad Accord. I said before, there is now a Faizabad discord. Dukaran is not there. And the COP is marginalized, and the COP has been reduced to a national disgrace under Prakash Ramadan. Where is TOP? TOP today is fragmented, has not won a single seat in Tobago, and no longer has the potency or the power it had before. Where is the MSJ? The MSJ left under Abdullah. Let me say clearly that MacLeod does not represent the MSJ. When he came 5 years ago, he came to represent the labor movement. Today he represents nobody except himself, and he adores the ground Kamala walks on. So for him, his representation is Kamala, not the labor movement. So there is no MSJ, there is no COP, there is no TOP, and NJAC never was. But the point I want to say to you also is that I am not surprised that there is this discord, because what Ms. Sabi Sessa has done is to able to use the accord to her advantage. Once she became Prime Minister, she felt that there was no more use for the accord, and therefore she dispensed with it. They have not met once as a grouping to discuss anything about how they'll function, how they'll work. Not once. And don't take my word for it. Ask Mr. Abdullah. Ask Caroline Sipasad Bechan. Ask them. Not once have they met. Where's the accord, therefore? There is none. And therefore, to talk about accord and unity today would merely be, in my humble opinion, fooling the country as this government and its Prime Minister does from day to day.
Hi, Mr. Warner. This is Dawn from St. Augustine. I need to know if you're contesting the Chaguanas West seat again.
Dawn, many persons are asking me that question because they seem to be in doubt. At the end of the day, I have served Chaguanas West well, and they too have demonstrated their confidence in me, especially in the by-election. Why should we part company now? But in any event, the last word there is not mine, it's the parties, because I will fight wherever they believe I can best serve them. But I have no objection whatsoever in going for Chaguanas West, and I'm quite sure Chaguanas West has no objection to giving me their support and their vote. You all can ask me your questions on Facebook, on Warner TV Facebook, or even on WhatsApp at 492-4488. And who knows, I may be able to answer you even right away. So you can check me now on WhatsApp at 492-4488, Warner TV Facebook, my own Facebook, or even Twitter. You can never tell. I'll answer you anyway. Thank you.